folks, I'm Tom Vassell.
And I'm Melody.
And this is Double Trouble, and today we're looking at
War of Indines.
BattleCON. Okay, now, here's the deal, folks. I've already done a review of BattleCON, War of Indines, and BattleCON, Devastation of Indines, or something like that. I've done a review of both of those. So in this one, I'm just going to show you, this is an updated version of BattleCON, War of Indines. So I'm not going to explain how the game works. You can see it in another one. Well, I'll take a look at the new components, and then we'll hear Melody's thoughts on it and where my thoughts are on it now. Okay, so as I said, I'm not explaining how the game works. I'm just going to show what's in this set. In this set, you have each character. Each character comes with a little folder, and in that folder, you can put any tokens that character might have. You have your special abilities. You have all the different cards that your character can use, and then you have a reference card. This card is given to your opponent so they can see all the different cards that you have. And then these figures here, the original BattleCON, they were much smaller. These are much bigger figures, and they all fit here in the box along with any extra tokens. And then you have your basic cards that are in the side here that you can use. And then finally, you have these locations. This is something that you can add to the game where there's a location and things will happen. And then there is some booklets, the rule book. There is a fighter and move guide, which tells you each person what they have, maybe a little bit on how to use that character, and then the board itself, which is a pretty nice looking board. So that's the components. Again, watch my original review if you want to see how to play. Let's get into our final thoughts. All right, so this is a two-player fighting game. It's based on Street Fighter, Soul Calibur, and all those games that I played a lot when I was a teenager and in college, and you've played?
None.
None. No, you played the Mario one.
Super Smash Brothers.
Super Smash Brothers, right? And that's what this is, you know, like each person has a different style of fighting. So what did you think of this game?
I liked it with, I thought it was pretty cool how the way to attack was like doing the red and blue card and trying to get lucky in a way, hoping that the other person didn't like nullify your attack.
Right, I mean, basically the game is a big giant game of rock, paper, scissors, kind of, sort of, but it's more complex than that.
Also depends on your character too.
Right, I was just going to say, I mean, the characters in this game are very different, and the more I play BattleCON, I played it a lot, the more I'm starting to find some characters that I'm just not as interested in, and some characters are more fun to play, and that's kind of based on my style. Like, I think you like the one with the panda bear.
Yeah. And not the one that is like if the other person's attack is higher or lower than yours, you can attack. I didn't like that character.
Well, right, and there's going to be the levels in the game. It tells you how difficult it is to play, and I highly recommend that you play the lower level characters first. Some characters are just run up to the other person and punch them, and other characters are going to be dancing around and doing different things. Even the panda one, that character is more complex because you have to make sure that your familiar essentially is in the right spot. So working that out, which you can do, you just got to figure it out. What do you think about the complexity of the game with having beginning of step, beginning of round, end of step, and all that? How long did it take for that to click?
For me, I just had to continually read the card to actually understand what was happening. But the actual when to do it, it made sense to me.
Did you feel like the game was balanced, like the fighters had a fair shot at each other?
Yeah, especially if you do the same easy level against each other.
What do you think about the combining the cards together? What do you think about that aspect of the game?
I think it's pretty cool, and I especially like how when you use the cards, you have to slide. You have to not be able to use them for 2 turns, and if you have a really powerful combo, you have to wait 3 turns to do it again. But then by then, the other person might know that you're going to play it.
Yeah, it is intriguing, and it's certainly one of the things I'm learning about this game is it's really useful to know what your opponent has. You know, and that's going to take some learning, right? Because there's so many characters in the game, you're not going to be able to remember what they all do. And I really like that the game comes with a card that you can give your opponent that basically says all the different attacks that they have. And even then, though, it's still sometimes some of the cards you basically have to see them being played for it to work.
Like that one game we had, the Panda Girl against the Fortune Teller or something like that. where you had to like guess which card I was going to play.
Yeah, I really like that character, actually. I like trying to guess what my opponent's going to do, and they know I'm going to try to guess, so they are going to play something different than I think, or maybe I know that, so I know they're going to pick something different, so then they pick the same thing because they know that I know. And yes, I will not drink the wine in front of me situation. So War of Indines is not the easiest game to get into. It takes some getting used to, putting two cards together and walking through each step. But I think once you do get into it, it really shines and such. Did you play the other one with me? The two-player fighting one where they ramped up? No, you didn't play that one with me. Okay, so you can't compare them. Sorry. But you have played other level 99 games. You played Pixel Tactics. I don't remember if you played Yomi or not. That's the old one with the deck of cards. But this, to me, is the most strategic of all the two-player fighting games. This is one I like a lot. This is one I have in my collection. I already have several characters, Devastation of Indines, and these are combinable. And it's one I'm going to keep. I'm finding that I'm playing a little bit less because I'm having a hard time finding opponents who they have to first teach them the game, and then teach them the characters, and then they finally get good at it. And that takes a few games to get into. Although if I teach Melody, I can play against her. What are your final thoughts on this?
I thought it was really fun, and I do like exploring the different characters and see which ones I'm better at. So I want to play again and see a new character.
Did you like the artwork?
Yeah, I really like the artwork, especially the panda.
Enough of this panda stuff. All right, well, anyway, that is a relook at the new version of BattleCON War of Indines. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
And I'm Melody.
And this has been Double Trouble.
Boom.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.